WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. This is the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones. I want to thank you for calling in and waking up with the Talk Beat Jones or going to bed with the Talk Beat Jones. Whichever is best for you, that's where we want to work with you on the Talk Beat Jones. Again, I am Billy Jones. My partner's not here at this point today. That's, of course, the lady that's working out of the council person's office. I slow it down because, you know, when things run smooth, the waters run smooth. The council person at large, Miss Mary Waters. So she's taking care of business for you, for me, for all of us. That's my partner, Miss Michelle Broughton. So family, let's get prepared to start rocking and rolling on the Talk Beat Jones from all around the world. Remember, every Wednesday we're on the air live from 10 to 11 a.m. So you can call us, talk to us, bring us your thoughts, bring us your feelings, and let's get ready to talk to the world and let the people know what's on your mind on the Talk Beat Jones. I have to reach out and say to all of my friends that have been spreading the word about the Talk Beat Jones and sharing the Talk Beat Jones, and it's going everywhere, family. I'm watching you and reading your information. I just want to again just reach out and just say I love you and I appreciate that you're doing for the Talk Beat Jones, getting the word out all around the world. I say it for me, and I also say it for Michelle Broughton. Let's do this. The people are talking about the gas situation. Yes, they're talking about the gas situation. And let me give you a quick update on the gas situation there. The gas prices reached new heights. President Joe Biden said tackling the inflation is his top domestic priority as gas prices surged to a new high despite White House efforts to stabilize them. I bring that up to say this too. We're looking at the food prices and the food shortages that's starting to develop. And again, if you want to talk on it, not a problem, but I'm going to hit it and quit it and move on. But they're talking about the war. And we're talking about the different situations that they're imposing on Russia and Putin, etc. But does Putin have a little something in his arsenal that he's doing that is countering these measures that the NATO and the United States is trying to put on him? They tell us that this food that's being held up in Ukraine is causing and going to cause more of a world health situation in terms of food. They can't get it out. They can't get it out. They said it's in the silos and they can't get it out. As time is moving on, and as he continues to this war in the Ukraine, those food products can't get out, and these are the main ingredients for food processes around the world. So that's what you're looking at is as this war is still continuing, as we are still looking at all the people that are leaving the Ukraine and the people who stand there and fighting, and you got men that are telling you that, hey, we know that we're going to die. We know we're going to die, but we're not going to give up. We're going to continue to fight. That's, well, what can you say, family, when folks love the country and the country's at war, and they know that they are losing their lives, and they're willing to stay there and not try to escape, not try to run, but they're going to stay there and fight to the end. It sounds like black people to me. Don't run. How many cities, how many places, how many areas of black developments that were successful, that were being put together, that were burned out, folks hung. In the United States of this America, yes, folks, it happens right here in the United States of America during our time of development, black folks. So we know about courage. We know about standing our grounds. And so we admire the Ukraine folks, and again, my heart goes out to the folks in the Ukraine. Some good news, and that is free legal aid okayed in Detroit rent cases. The Detroit City Council on Tuesday unanimously approved an ordinance providing free legal aid to low-income Detroit renters. Following an hour-long public hearing with dozens of public commentators, sharing their support, the 9-member council voted to approve the right to counsel ordinance spearheaded by Council President Mary Sheffield and nearly 24 organizations. So there is help. There will be help for the Detroit folks who are in a situation about being evicted out of their rental properties. I got something kind of funny before we get into the other part. I was watching the Kentucky Derby, something that I've never really done, but I watched the Kentucky Derby and all the festivities that was going on, and I looked up, and as they were bringing the folks and introducing some of the folks who were there attending, some of the owners of the horses and families, I saw a little black girl that was with one of the owners, white lady, and I didn't know if it was her daughter or how, whatever, but she was there with her, and they said that that was her daughter, so I take it that that was her daughter at the Kentucky Derby with the owners there. And then I'm watching them talk about the horses and talk about the chances of the horses, and they're talking to the trainers and they're talking to the owners, etc. You get to and they're talking about how their horses have the ability to win and how they trained really well and what they expect of the horse. And then they got to the Oriental guy who owns the horse. And initially he was kind of not talking that much. And when he got to talking about his feeling about his chances of his horse winning, etc., etc., well, when it was all said, and the commentator wanted to send it back, or the interviewer wanted to send it back to upstairs, he says, oh, and he's dreaming. He's dreaming. Like he doesn't have a chance at all. His horse doesn't have a chance at all. And I'm going to make it real short and real quick. There was a horse that was brought in one day of the race, was not even on the program at first. On a Friday, that horse was entered into the race. On a Saturday, that horse that had no chances, 80-1 was his odds, that horse won the Kentucky Derby. That horse won the Kentucky Derby, 80-1 long shot. Can you believe that? Just there, entered on a Friday, and on a Saturday, that horse is the champion. The Kentucky Derby champion. That was fantastic. And I tell you, if you watch them, for those of us out there, of course, family, other folks than just us watching, so I want to do this. That man was riding that horse, riding that horse, riding that horse, and the difference was he was riding and pumping that horse, riding and hitting that horse in the neck and pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. The other people were riding, riding, riding. The difference again was he was pushing, pushing, and you could see he was driving that horse, and that horse won. And I say this to you, family, we can't just gallop. We can't just get in the stretch and just ride and do some smooth pushing. We got to get in there and push and push and push. You've got an election coming up in the 13th district for Congress. What is your thoughts? What are you going to do? How are you going to find out the person that's going to receive your vote? How are you going to find out? Are they talking to you? We know that people had to go through about getting the signatures. That's just having people stand out and getting your signature, getting you to sign their petitions. But do you know about the person? Do you know about why you put their name, you signed their petition? Did they promise you they're going to come back and tell you more? There are folks who say, I'm not worried about it. I've got the money. I've got the money. We've got candidates that got some money. We got one that got millions and one that has at least $500,000. And I'm listening to them talk about the polls. But the persons who have the most money in the poll that I just listened to yesterday is not ahead. It is the person that has probably the least amount, one of the least amount of money. That person is leading in a particular poll. But this is just the beginning. So the question again is, will the folks with the money, because they say you have to have that name recognition, you have to have the people come out and know who you are in terms of at least your name. The people who have all the money, how will they spend their money? You say, Billy Jones, where are you going with this? Where I'm going with this is this. This station, TV 33, WHPR, WHPS, where we go all around the world, where we have our local folks as well that listen to the station, that share the station, share the programs. So it's not just a program that is on the air live, such as the Talk Beat Jones on a Wednesday from 10 to 11. Why? Because the Talk Beat Jones is shared anytime, 24 hours a day, so the message is continuously running. Somebody is hearing, seeing the program, and somebody is speaking to someone about what they heard on the Talk Beat Jones or some of the other programs. The word gets around. How? Because people talk. They don't just listen to the radio. They talk. They speak about that person that they could see, that they could feel. The words. That's what we do, and that's what's happening. And that's what we want you to understand. Where are your candidates going to invest their money so that they potentially can get the word out to you? Call your candidate. Talk to your candidate. Talk to the person and ask them, are you reaching out to TV 33, WHPR, WHPS? It has the expansion, it's streaming, it's going everywhere. People can see, people can hear. Are you sharing your message on this station? Are you coming home to this station? Have you looked around in the history of this station and how many people that they have placed in the council, state rep, even people that was on this station that have gone from state rep to, at this point, judge, 36th District Court? and etc. This program, when I say this program, I'm speaking now about the station, is able to get you folks that you can make them excited about you. They can get excited about what you're doing. I'm speaking to you candidates. I'm speaking to you persons out there who have a candidate that you want to win. You can change the programming that people say. There's only people that's going to vote that's 50 up. Those are the people that you have to try to get because they say those are the voting base. Okay, true. But the question is, when it's all said and done, how many of those folks even voting? If the voting is so low, and you're saying that this is the population that's voting, then why, family, are the people not putting together a plan to get the other folks to vote, the younger folks to vote, a way to get those folks excited? Are you just sitting back taking the advice of other folks? Well, you put your commercial on this station and you put your commercial on that station and you pay this guy over here and you get this consultant this amount of money and then you do. Come on now. You try a system that has not been working. When I say not working, it has not got people out to come to vote. It's not working. It is not working. This station has produced a tremendous amount of winners. A tremendous amount of winners. And I want to thank my partner, Miss Michelle Broughton, for all that she has done in terms of developing other winners. And I want to salute Miss Michelle Broughton and the office of the independent person minded, and that is where the waters run deep and they run smooth. The name is your city council person at large, Ms. Mary Waters, and the summit that she put on for all people so that they can understand how to get these contracts. And they say that there was a vast number of people who came out, totally what they were not expecting. They were expecting 100, they got over 300 plus. I want to salute the fact that Ms. Michelle Broughton is on this program, is a partnership with me on this program. And she worked to get the word out. She worked to get the understanding of what's happening from that office. So let's understand, when you see, well, these numbers are going up, how did that happen? Look at the program that speaks directly from the office where the waters run deep and they run smooth. But they run deep because they're working for you. Check your water plan. See if you understand why the waters are running deep for you right here in the city of Detroit. So you say, Billy, you talk that you speak on about the world and you're speaking to the world. Yes, we do. And yes, we are at particular. But at this point, family, we're now going through the process of talking to my Detroit family. We're speaking on something that's very important, and that is getting the vote out. Getting the vote out, getting folks excited. You have to come up with a process, a program that can help you get people like, I like that person. I believe that person. Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said? This is what they're going to do. If you've got a man running for governor and he tells you that he's going to abolish or take away taxes, you know that's a lie. Don't let somebody just tell you something, put a plan out and say, this is what we're going to do, and you take a sound bite and you say, yeah, I like that. Are the damn roads fixed yet? But you like the thought. But the man is going to tell you he's going to take away taxes. Another business person and these business folks who are jumping into the governor's race Don't you remember the guy named Snyder, the one that portrayed himself as the nerd? And what happened to the folks with his business decisions? So do we need another businessman in that position? And whoa, let's hold it up. That police chief from Detroit, the one that they called Chief. How about that? Chief James Craig. They're saying that he may not even be on the ballot. Now, I'm just putting little teasers out there, folks, because I want you to ask for other folks for the details. I want you to talk to folks, get the word around them. What's going on? What's happening with Chief James Craig in his bid to be the governor of Michigan? And so what are they saying now? What is he saying? So these are things, if you don't know, you need to talk to folks. This is what is happening around you. This is what is going on around you. Okay? So that is, look at what's happening with Chief James Craig and ask yourself, he was the leader. He was the person that they were saying is leading. So now, why is it that the problem? And he said he turned over 15,000 signatures extra, but they're saying nope. There's fraud. There's things in there that's not right with these signatures. So it's not a done deal. It's not a done deal, but I'm sure that your former chief of police, Mr. James Craig, is not going to lay down and say, yeah, well, I was wrong on that, and we just go ahead and do with that. Okay, not a problem. Donald Trump, Twitter, Musk. Is there something there where Musk is saying if he gets Twitter, Donald Trump is going to be able to come back to Twitter, and Donald Trump is saying, I'm not going to come back to Twitter. I have my own situation, but they're saying his own situation has not had any effect at this point? It doesn't matter that Donald Trump's situation has not had an effect at this point. He's loading it. He's getting it situated. He's having people ready to deal with his situation. There's a lot that's planned with what Donald Trump is putting together, family. Believe me. Believe me. And if those of you who like wrestling, you will understand this thing that Donald Trump adapted about denying that he lost. I spoke to you some years ago about that, about the kinship of what is going on with the WWE and some of the things that Donald Trump is doing in his platform. You do know that he had Vince McMahon's wife as part of his team. And it's still going on. Deny that you lost. Deny you lost. How many of you gone and watched the wrestling in which the champion, quote, got defeated and refused to say that he lost, and continued to have other matches in which he continued to say he never lost. He's still the champion. That works for folks who want to believe in you, that you did not lose. You are not a loser. You are a winner. It don't matter what the folks say. It doesn't matter what the numbers say, because I believe what comes out of your mouth, Donald Trump. And that's what we are, family. That's what we are. So just look around and see what's happening and see how things are developed, and you can see today how things are going to be placed in front of you a little bit in the future, because the game is already going on. And they're saying to the people, now, how many people are going to be endorsed through Donald Trump? And when? if there is 15 contests, and if Donald Trump puts his name on 15 different folks, or have more than one person's in that race, like the Kentucky Derby, and if he wins 7 of those races, that's power moving forward for Donald. So when they say, well, he endorsed his candidate and this candidate didn't win, it does not matter. It does not matter. He's using a program idea that the numbers, in the end, the numbers is what he's looking at. It's not a defeat or win on each and every race. It's how many folks can I endorse that will be my people, because those people are in my pocket. And when we speak about Donald Trump's pocket and the effect that he has set up in our country, that is the United States of this America, with these judges, how was it that it just happened to be Donald Trump time to put in over 200 plus federal judges and 3 Supreme Court judges? How did that happen? Was that a plan? Or things just came along? Or did that guy, Mitch McConnell, set things up? The Donald Trump, the Republican Party, Mitch McConnell, stall until we get it ready to take it over. Don't let nothing pass. Don't let nothing pass. And you don't need to let this program pass on a Wednesday night. That is the Fake Friends. That's Mr. R.J. Watkins, Mr. Henry Tyler. LaWanda is his star. And of course, Auntie Betty and Renee on a Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. If you want to see the effects of Fake Friends, the conversations, and why this program is just going up, 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 and Mr. R.J. Watkins is making LaWanda a star go up, 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 because he's a star maker. The Fake Friends. And you'll see them on the commercial Lemon Burn. It's not phony. The truth is out of their mouth about Lemon Burn and what it can do for you. Be back after these commercial announcements on the Talk Beat Jones. I'm Billy E. Jones, and my partner, of course, is Miss Michelle Broten. Be back shortly. You wouldn't have to go anywhere, because this is the Talk Beat Jones.
Hi, this is LaWanda.
This is R.J. Watkins.
Coming to you to bring you some information about the #1 detox in the nation, Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn helps to turn the fat into fit. It's for you, a happier, healthier you. Because you know healthy is the new beautiful. An all-natural way to improve your health. It promotes a healthy digestive system, attacks and reduces belly fat, as well as gives you energy. Need to get yours today. Call 313-868-6612.
Don't forget to exercise and eat right.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Matter. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
We at Watkins Broadcasting care about the health and safety of our viewers and listeners. During this novel coronavirus pandemic, please protect yourself and others. Wash your hands well and often. Avoid touching your face. Cough and sneeze into your sleeve. Practice social distancing. Stay at least 6 feet away from others when in public, and only leave the house when it's essential. Stay safe. You are important to us.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. All right, we're hot on the Talk Beat Jones. Once again, I am Billy E. Jones, and of course, family knows my partner is Miss Michelle Broughton. She's out working, of course, dealing with the Waters Run Deep assignments. And so we'll look forward to, she mentioned that she'll be back next week. And so again, real quickly before I take a telephone call, I also want to mention, family, this hepatitis. Your children from the ages of 2 to 5, from the ages of 2 to 5, it's happening. They have come up with these situations in terms of the children. There's 105 cases of hepatitis. Now people say, well, didn't or don't folks get the injections for hepatitis? The problem is that this particular strand of hepatitis, they don't have a shot for it at this point. 105 cases, sadly, 5 have died, and 14 of those children have needed a liver transplant. So the question is, what is going on? What is going on? Why are the children now getting sick with this particular strand of hepatitis that is just devastating for our youngsters? Be careful. And when you see your child has a physical problem, 2 to 5, get right on it. Get right on it. So I needed to alert you again about that situation. Again, this is the Talk Beat Jones. Remember, every Wednesday we ask you to share the program when you receive it. Pass the word, get the word out that every Wednesday we always have a different program. Our programs are live. We take it. You can't say, oh, well, they're going to do this. Nope, we do it differently every week. Such as, here he is on the Talk Beat Jones. My man, your friend from Oakland, California, Mr. Leo Brazil. Mr. Brazil, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Leo Brazil, what's been going on in your mind in the world or the Oakland Bay Area as you see it? What's going on?
Well, I'm a senior citizen, so I don't get out much. And with all this COVID stuff going around and my diabetes, I get out even less. So I really can't give you a broad view of what's going on out in the world.
Let's talk a moment about this situation, and we're not going to have to stay along with it, but I just want to make a few comments from you, get a few comments from you. As a senior who has been boosted, you've taken all available injections that they have available. And so what happens in your mind when you hear about these folks who have been fully boosted, got all the injections, and they're still coming down with COVID? What does that do to you mentally?
Well, mentally, it tells me that we're in a Ukrainian type situation.
Okay.
Ukraine is at war. It's being attacked by an enemy. They know who that enemy is, where he's coming from, and what his possibilities are, and so they can try to develop defenses against you.
Mm-hmm.
We're at war with a COVID unseen disease that, as you have just pointed out, we don't know anything about except what we've already experienced. And this variant thing comes along and changes those experiences, we have no way of determining where the enemy's coming from, what he's going to be riding on, and how we can go about attacking it. So it's still a learning process. Unfortunately, in that learning process, we've lost 1 million Americans and are losing 300 a day still. So we're in a war with the enemy that we really don't know anything about. So we have no data other than existing data. And we know that it's not affecting children as much, and so we're getting the schools open. But we still are worried about people that are in my age and fragile health state.
Okay. So, the question I guess I'm still with is that these folks who are being tested, I guess they're being tested because they have to go to certain events, certain places, etc., and find out, oops, you got COVID.
Yeah, but it's not killing you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You got those individuals, because we're talking about the high-profile people who have these positions, etc., and come up with, oops, you got COVID. What happens to us folks who are everyday folks who feel healthy, who feel good, who feel that there's no problems, and we are not going through, because everybody's not testing themselves and everybody's not being tested because you feel good. I don't want to deal with whatever.
So what's happening in Ukraine? Everybody's not being bombed. So people are still going to restaurants and trying to be as normal as they can.
Yes. And so what is happening, and I'm going to just regress, just like this hepatitis, they don't have any defenses at this point for this particular strand of hepatitis, for this hitting these children. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? It's not what they were used to. So as you're going through this process of looking at this COVID, they've already said there is now another 2 other strands of this COVID that is now out.
Is it in China?
It is everywhere that is coming to the United States, or some of it is in the United States as a B something and a B something as well as the other one.
Well, in China, they got 140 million people, I understand, in quarantine. People are jumping out of buildings and tired of being locked up in apartment complexes in cities.
I think that
we're not talking about that on the news here.
Well, I think that what you're saying about them folks as being restrained and having to stay in their own residence and not being able to get out and move around, etc., like you say, they're jumping out because they can't take it. That is the strain of what was happening in the United States of the America. And it reached that boiling point where they say, listen, we got to take the top off and let these folks get out here and do what they're going to do. Those who survive will survive. Those who get sick and die will get sick and die. Those who pick up the virus and quote, recover, but they got the long haul scenario with it. Because, it's not just that you can't taste. It's not just that, things don't taste right. You got other ailments that's attributed to your COVID situation. Right. That is going to be with you. So, what are we, in terms of, like I said, do we still gamble? We're going through a process. I'm just asking this question. We're going through a process of saying, when I walk up and I got a mask on, and other folks, and you walk into a place and other folks don't have a mask, or you're going to meet someone and they don't have a mask, what is that encounter like? Have you had those type of encounters, and what do you deal with, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, you adjust. If you go to the store and nobody's wearing the mask because your county or your city says they don't have to, then I wear mine anyway.
Okay.
Because I don't want to infect somebody else if I'm infected. Now, I don't know if I'm infected because I've had all of my shots.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was the first one in the line, if you remember, in America to get mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told you, as soon as they gave it out, you didn't want one, I'd take it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I took all of my shots and everything. I have not had any problems. But I don't want to carry this to somebody else who carries to their grandmother. And we've had some grandmothers and grandfathers in our church have passed away.
Yes.
Because they've caught it from a family member at a family gathering. So, again, until we know what this is, we're like Ukraine. We're at war, but we don't know who our enemy is. We just gave it a name because it's identifiable, but we don't know how to identify it in terms of whether or not it's a cough, whether or not it's a wheeze, it's a headache. All these different things are hitting people differently, and the numbers are being gathered to see if it all bunches up into, certain symptoms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's going to take some time.
Well, I'm looking at, they're talking about, are we ready for another surge? That's what they're talking about. We're on the brink of just about having another surge because they're not really pushing the fact and people are not really talking about the situation, but the COVID numbers are going back up, folks.
Where? Where? Everywhere?
Everywhere. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I'm not talking about we're talking about everywhere the numbers are going up. That's what's happening. That's what the, quote, credited news folks are saying. So, but it's so established that people who do not want to take the injections, folks who do not want to wear the mask, they have won at this point. They have won. And
as long as the death toll is down, the fact that we're getting sick, the only thing that matters then is whether or not we have hospital beds that take care of them. The fact that we can't get rid of the sickness just puts it in the flu category. We can't get rid of flu, but we know every year 60 or 70,000 people could possibly die in a year, 60 or 70,000. We're used to that. But to have hundreds of thousands of people all over the country in 20, 30 states filling up the hospitals and dying, we don't want to go through that again.
Well, now you have folks able to get on the planes, and they're saying that they want to have it where the folks don't have to wear the mask on the planes.
Yes.
So all the things that was being like an incubator is opening back up again.
Right.
So
but do you have to go? I don't have to fly. I'll get on a train or take some other way if I got to go somewhere.
I guess the process that is not necessarily the person says that I'm not going to go. The process is that, do you realize that the folks traveling is up at a record pace at this particular point?
Yes.
So folks who are coming from one part of the country where there is an infection or a surge somewhat can still get on the plane, the train, drive, and come and see you.
Yeah.
So it's opening back up.
Well, they can't come and see me.
Well, it's opening back up for those who are in that socialized type of situation and all these games and social activities. Everybody's doing everything as though there's no situation, no problem.
And they're getting sick. The vice president is sick.
Well, we don't. This what I'm saying is that this situation that they had at the White House, they've got a number of people who, and this is where everybody was supposed to be tested, boosted, and they don't say if it's a process because they were at the event, or was it something that happened?
They don't know.
Or was it something that happened after the event went through at the after parties.
Right.
But all they know is they got all of these folks, high-profile folks, that are testing positive for COVID. Now,
Yeah, but we don't know if they're coming out of one event, such as the Hollywood Bowl with Dave Chappelle, or wherever they may be gathering at a baseball game or whatever. If all of a sudden there's an outbreak of all those people who happen to all be at that same baseball game, that would be some solid information. But we're not getting that kind of information because even at the White House dinner for all the journalists and everything, we haven't heard of anybody or any large numbers coming out of there.
well, hold up.
We did hear about that,
Hold up. That is what I just spoke on. Yes, sir. That is what I just spoke on. They are having folks who attended that dinner or that situation that have come down and tested positive for COVID.
And all of them were vaccinated.
And the question, yes, sir. But the
But
question,
they weren't wearing masks at the dinner.
No, they didn't have to wear a mask because they were all boosted, got all the injections, were tested positive, had tested negative for the COVID, and they're saying they don't know if the situation.
But they were in a room where people weren't wearing masks, right?
Yes, but the thing again,
so
let me
difference.
complete, sir. But what they're stating is they don't know if the occurrences of these events happened at the after parties, because at the after parties, those same type of requirements was not made for everyone, and so folks who were not a part of that event could come to the after parties. Thank you.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how can you avoid that? I mean, so if I go to an event like that and everybody's vaccinated and nobody's wearing a mask, I'm feeling good. Then when I leave, I go to an after party and nobody's wearing a mask, but they tell me that everybody in there is not vaccinated. It's time for me to evacuate it.
But
It's
that's
time for me to get out of there.
Yeah, but see, I'm saying that that's just the attitude where we are today. Is folks is like, oh, okay. Everybody's cool.
Billy, if this is going to go on, we don't know how to attack it or stop it, other than the fact that we've taken some chances and taken some vaccinations, and it has slowed it down. It has slowed it down. We are not dying in these kind of numbers like we were.
So for folks,
so we got to live with that until we find something better.
So for folks who are, single, living by yourself, saying, "Oh, I like being by myself. I'm not really a sociable person. I don't have really that. I don't have that person that's with me, checking with me. I basically am a homebody to myself, and I'm single." Well, that is a problem, because that person who is a single person who lives like that can get sick. And guess what? There's nobody there to help them.
Well, they got family members they ought to be able to call and say, "Cousin so-and-so, I'm really sick. I'm quarantining myself for 14 days. Could you bring me a hamburger over every day?"
Well,
Just help out there. The point is that we're not going back to the normal life that everybody wants to get back into. And the spring and the summertime is the hardest time of the year to go through that kind of discipline that you got to show to survive. Because you want to be out there and be free with everybody, especially if you're young. That single person you just mentioned, that's me. I'm at home by myself. Right now I got my sons with me. But if I wasn't covered by my sons right now, I don't know who I'd call, because my sister, who is my closest relative, is 40 miles away.
Yes. So, I mean, this is what we're saying, family, is prepare.
Right.
It's not that you can stop it, but you got to prepare. And people say, well, they came with the COVID and they're going to isolate themselves for 14 days. What does it mean to say I'm going to isolate myself for the 8 to 10, 12 days, whatever it may be? And you are what? You're isolating yourself at home. You can't go any place. You can't go out. Is that the way the quarantine works? Or do you go out?
That's the way it's working. That's the way it's working right now.
Okay.
Everybody's got to make their own decision about how they move. In the meantime, I told you my biggest problem was going to be not this war in Ukraine and not this war against COVID, but this war against the pocketbook. When that gas price and those food prices and everything has gone through the roof, and it's not going to turn around anytime soon. So people are concerned about that. They want something done, just like they want something done about COVID. And the only thing they can do about COVID is stay at home. And the only thing they can do about the high prices is go vote the government out.
Well, so if I got sick and and all of a sudden I've got to quarantine myself, that means I'm not going to work. If I'm a person that's not working from home,
right?
I'm not going out shopping, getting the type of foods that I need, the type of things that I want.
Right. How you paying the rent?
How you paying the rent? How you paying the basics, etc. Whatever. I'm just saying it's something that you really need to have to think about, especially us single people.
Right.
Because, you remember the Elvis Presley thing where he went to the bathroom and never got up? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I have found is that's not as rare as it would seem, that people feel that they have to go to the bathroom on number 2, and that ailment just knocks them out. They pass out in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's nobody there,
right,
then that's when their life is gone.
Right. I have that problem at the diabetic. I get down low blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I pass out.
Yes.
And I need a boost.
Mm-hmm.
Some orange juice or something. Nobody there to take care of me.
Yes.
I'm just going to fall deeper and deeper into a diabetic coma.
That's right. That's right. That's why we're having this conversation, family, because you say, it's boring. And it's not. We want you to perk up in your ears to know what it takes to keep you alive. To keep you alive, family. That's what this is about. Go right here, sir.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the weird war.
Mm-hmm.
So like the people in Ukraine, they're in certain cities in Western Ukraine and they're not being bombed. They're going about their business as best they can and still trying to do the same thing. They should be jumping on train, getting out of there.
Okay.
But no, I bet you if they're not and they're staying in their cities and hoping that it doesn't come their way, they better have a bag packed ready to evacuate at any moment. So that's all I can say is keep your mask close. You go someplace.
I got about 2-3 minutes with you, and I want to ask this quick question. They're talking about the food supply and the supply of food that comes out of Ukraine and how it affects the world, and
right?
How this food is not being able to come out. And they're saying they got the food; it's in the silos. Can you explain to the world real quickly in as short a fashion as you can what is a silo?
A silo is a big long tube that is built like a building with no windows, and it's filled up with some ingredient. And in this case, it's wheat or corn.
Mm-hmm.
Now the silos are full, but you can't empty them onto the truck and put them into the supply line, sending them to the bakeries. So the bakeries then are waiting for grain, and they can't get it. So what little they have, the price of it goes up. They're going to sell their products much higher. So it's a law of supply and demand. The demand is high for wheat, but we can't get it out of the silos. So we can't get it out of the field into the silo.
Now, do you have an idea of how much wheat Ukraine feeds around the world?
A lot. I don't know. I understand.
But
I heard a number say something like somebody gets 40% of their wheat from Ukraine, and that or Ukraine supplied Europe with 40% or something. But anyway, it's not going to be available, so everything is going to go up.
Okay, so that's where we are. That's where we are right today. You can see why the food prices are going to go up, because they are not going to be able to get that wheat and corn out of Ukraine. Thank you so very much for calling in and talking today, Mr. Leo Brazil of Oakland, California. Appreciate you very much, brother. Want to say goodbye real quickly. Got to go.
All right now.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Leo Brazil. Family, again, on behalf of Miss Michelle Broden, I am Billy E. Jones, and this has been Talk Beat Jones. Remember, on a Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m., I'm live. Michelle Broden is live here at the Talk Beat Jones at WHPR, WHPS, and we invite you to share the program so people can know really what's going on. Have a wonderful life, wonderful day. We respect you and love you. Bye now. You wouldn't have to go anywhere, because this is the Talk Beat Jones.